Hey traders, welcome to hautrader UK. As you can see by the clock here, it's currently 20:56 p.m. It's Wednesday the 26th of February 2020 and UK time it's just gone 5 to 9 p.m. in the evening. And guys, finally I get to post a video that I actually started way back on New Year's Eve. I was sat at my charts and I was looking at potential trades and thinking, you know what, it's I'm not going to be trading live now. Let's see if we can't, while the markets are quiet, let's see if we can't put together a trade which typifies everything that's needed in a typical trade, in a successful trade. And when I initially went into this trade, I knew, you know, it wasn't a paper trade, but what it certainly was meant for, it was a tester for me to get into, to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? To start to sharpen my skills as I come into the 2020 trading year. And I thought, okay, well, I'm surely I'm not going to take a trade on New Year's Eve. However, I'm going to put together a paper trade just to test myself, test my emotions, test my skills, test my trade management, see if I can see opportunities to enter into a trade and see if I can successfully manage a trade. Finally, this trade has come in, as completed, and I just want to touch base with you over the trade. I just want to show you what I went through during the trade and really just summarise what happened exactly. So here we are on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen monthly chart. So the Aussie yen monthly chart. And I took this trade as what I saw was a huge downtrend. Okay? And it was this huge downtrend that I was going to play. That's what I was looking to play. And I've recorded videos along the way, so I'm not going to go too much into what I did, what my thought pattern was back then, because you'll see that in the videos. But what I want to say to you guys is this trade typifies what it takes to manage, stalk, complete a successful trade, especially on a longer term basis. Now, I only trade longer term charts. You know, I trade the 4-hour daily, but I also, if you look at my time frames up here, you'll see there's some time frames in there that aren't quite standard, and I'll take a trade on any one of these charts. Okay, so I don't like to keep myself to one particular time frame. I like to keep my trading flexible, because I believe there are opportunities in every time frame dependent on your bias, whether you're, you know, a swing trader or a day trader or a scalper or even an investor. So let's just go down to the daily chart and let's just sort of very briefly show you what happened. Okay, so here's the daily chart, and I've kept, for the moment, I've got no drawings, I have no lines on this chart. All right, now I just want to briefly bring myself up to speed. Okay. So effectively what happened was I was looking for a way to get back onto this big downtrend, this big, huge downtrend. That's what I was looking to play. Go back down to the daily chart, fatten it up. And when I started to look at this chart, we were at the top of this channel. Coming to the top of this channel. Now, let me just put on some studies and show you why I took a position right here. So first of all, we have a diagonal. Okay? A diagonal. Next, the grey box, let me go up to the monthly chart. No, that's going to be too big. Let's try the weekly. That's probably not too bad. The yellow box represented a fib extension of this swing here. Now I don't know if you can make it out, but there's a fine sort of blue line running across the top of this grey area. That was a 618 retracement. And finally the grey area was actually daily structure. So back down to the daily chart. So as price moved into this area, it moved into this area in a fashion that I was interested in. Okay? It moved into an area, into that area of confluence in a fashion that I was interested in. So this is, and once it got in there, it was at this point that I wanted to look for an entry because I was happy with that area. So what I did, and as you can see, let me just make sure I've got my facts right here because the chart changes massively once you come away from the monthly charts. Okay, let me just put that back in because that will give me a better idea. Let me go back down to the daily chart. That's better. That's where we entered. I can see it now. Right up here. Okay, so now let's get rid of the studies. So this arrow here, and if you remember, this is the top, and we're into that area where the yellow box is and where the daily structure is. So we entered into this chart at this arrow, and we got some negative divergence up here. I look for price to break structure and come back up into a 618 retracement, which is what price did magnificently. And then off we went, guys. The trade went, we took off half of the position when price equaled the risk that I had in the trade. And then it was pretty much, let's go back up the time frames now. In fact, let's go to the daily chart. And I'm going to stop. Now I'm going to put the studies back in. All right. So we took some profit on this move down, this move here. And price dropped, hugely down. We could have come off here and been happy with the risk that we took, but it was a long-term trade. So when you play in these long-term trades, you have to be willing to let it run, come hell or high water, and you have to risk having a lot of profit at one time and having almost no profit at sometimes. The swings can be big. All right. So at this point, from this entry here to this point here, let's just have a look at how many pips we're up. I mean, we were up 250 pips, guys. Just wait 1 second there. Yeah, 253 pips we were up at that moment in time. And of course, I could have taken more off the table. I could have got emotional, but because it was a, this is how my trade, this is what I'm all about, controlling my emotions, I came away from my charts. And I watched price go all the way back up. I watched my profits get eroded and eroded and eroded in this move here. And I was already at break even. And I'm thinking, why didn't I take my profits? And then I remembered, Ray, this is a long-term play. So ride it out. You can't lose in the trade, and if nothing else, it's an educational thing. And this is purely what this was. The trade was educational. It was a paper trade, just to help me to get back into the swing of things for 2020. So as price went up there, yes, I was getting nervous, but what helped me was that as price was getting up there, let me just highlight this because I'm losing my way as I'm talking to you here, and I don't want to do that. So as price was getting up here, okay, I saw something that sort of made me feel not too bad about the situation. And it was basically the way this price had rallied made me feel more comfortable that, it may take me out. It may take me out and I'll just live with my 50 or 60 pips or whatever it was and be happy with that. Or price would get into this area again and it would drop. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Okay? Price dropped, and then again, I had a target. My target was way down here. Let's just get rid of those. My target was way down here, as you can see. and at this time we were nowhere near it. So once again, I watched price come off. Obviously I was a lot happy. Was I tempted to take the trade? Was I tempted to take the money off the table? Absolutely, yes I was. Because where was my take profit? Well, where this red line is where my take profit was. Look how close we came to my take profit, guys. Look how close we came to it. Now, many a trader would say, you should have took your profits there, Ray. Look how close you are. And I was going through it right then. My emotions were playing with me and everything. Because, my balance sheet was looking great. But I thought, you know what, Ray? You're here honing a skill. You're here trying to toughen up your emotions. You need to keep your emotions out of this trade. All right? So I let the trade run. And yet again, I watched price come up, up, up. A lot of pips in this move here, guys. I mean, from here to here is nearly 200 pips. But these are the kind of figures when you're trading higher time frames that you have to deal with. Now, what was extremely good about this trade is I saw this impulsive leg down here. And then I saw this correction. And even as price was coming down in this impulsive leg, I did, if I'm honest with myself, I did consider taking another position there. However, because I'd watched so many pips erode, I was more in defensive mode rather than time to take on another trade. And I kick myself, of course I do, but it's a lesson learned. And again, it was a practice. I was practicing self-control and I was practicing keeping my emotions out of the trade. So when price subsequently broke structure, guys, price dropped hard on this daily chart, broke this structure here. I'm thinking, you know what? This is going to continue lower. Regardless of what happens, this is going to continue lower. So what I did is I waited for a correction. I waited for a correction, and the correction came up in a specific way. The correction came up to a certain level even, and at this point, for some reason my chart is not activating for some reason. That's better. And what I did, I thought, Ray, don't be bitten by the same thing that happened in your last trade. That's what happened. That's where I took a fib of this swing, and it came to this candle. And look at that candle, ladies and gentlemen. And this little arrow here is where I sold again. At that point, I brought I brought my stop down to just above this level from the first trade and put my new stop loss up at the same level. Okay, obviously price came down, we were in the money, went back up, came back down, went back up, and finally, just today, price has come down, tapped my stop, and completed this trade. I certainly didn't expect it to go on for this long. This has been playing out since New Year's Eve, when I was just keeping in the swing of things, and it's turned out properly. Obviously, we have other trades that we've taken live. As I say, this was a paper trade and it was only for education purposes. But guys, I'm going to invite you to watch the videos. Now, it's my first shot at recording videos for you guys. So please excuse my patter and my delivery is not going to be as sharp as it could be, but I've been practicing that since. You'll hear that I've said things, I've said sell when I mean buy and all that sort of thing. It's all part of learning this game. And what I want to do is I want to bring you quality content. And the 31st of December was the beginning of this, and it was the first time that I was actually recording, trying to show you guys and trying to bring you some education. So guys, the videos are there. There's several videos for you to go through, but it's all this one trade. and it'll show you my thought process. Hopefully your comments are, I'm interested to hear your comments, whether this is a method of trading that you could use. This method of trading is perfect for somebody who has a full-time job. You know, this is the method of trading that will help you to move from working for someone else to working for yourself, as that is certainly my aim with this. Okay, so guys, I'm going to leave it there. We've been running 15 minutes already, and there's a lot for you to watch. Hopefully you will see the quality of this content and let me know. I'm going to be putting a course together later on in 2020, but in the meantime I'm going to be putting trades out to you, showing you the way I think, and hopefully you can, and I just want to know your feedback to see whether there is any legs in this. Take care for now, guys, and I'll see you soon. Oh, by the way, let me just go back up to the monthly chart. Several times throughout the video you're going to hear me say welcome to RD Trading, and RD Trading was the name that I was going to use for my channel, but basically I changed my mind. Basically I changed my mind. So this is the name of my channel. It's called hautrader UK. Although I'm based in the UK, we talk to traders from all over the world. And I want you to get to know that name, guys, because I hope to help you to turn yourselves into professional traders. Please excuse my delivery. I'm very new to this side of things, but I will get better. So bear with me. But if you can see that, regardless of the fact that this was a paper trade, I still went through the process. And one of the things that I do, and I've mentioned it throughout the videos, is I do all of my analysis on TradingView. I then set my entries and I set my stops, and I come away from the charts and I remove the emotion. And if the trade triggers, the trade triggers. If the trade doesn't trigger, the trade doesn't trigger. But what it allows me to do is to do my analysis free of any pressure that actually this is my account, my physical account, and that gives me a freedom which I'm beginning to recognize, and it's beneficial to do it that way, guys. So I'll leave it there for now. Please leave your comments in the box. Again, if you want to see any more videos that I will post, and I've got several coming up, please hit the bell icon to be notified of any of those videos, and also subscribe to my channel. Look forward to speaking to you all soon. Peace out.